So there these videos everyone has seen. The one with the dramatic music, maybe a montage of kids studying at midnight or winning some award. And the text on the screen says, "Don't waste your teenage years." And if you're watching this, you will probably felt that knot in your stomach. That little voice whispering, "Am I doing enough? Am I falling behind? Am I wasting the most important years of my life?" And the voice is loud and it's scary. But what if I told you that this entire idea, the idea that you can waste your teenage year, is actually the thing that messing you up the most? What if the rush to make the most of it, it's the very thing stealing these years from you in real time? Yeah, I said it. The advice to not waste your youth might be a trap. And today, we are going to talk about why. Before we get into why this advice is tricky, we have to look at where teenagers even come from. Because here's a wild fact: the idea of a teenager is pretty new. For most of human history, you were basically a kid until puberty, and then you kind of just became an adult. You worked, you contribute, you took responsibility. Simple. But then, around the Industrial Revolution, things changed. We made school mandatory. We decided kids shouldn't work in factory, and suddenly we create this whole new life stage, this weird limbo where you are biologically ready to be an adult, but society says, nope, sit down and stay in school. Psychologists argues that adolescence is actually an artificial extension of childhood. We have just decided to keep people in a holding pattern for years and years, telling them they're too young to do anything real, but also that they're old enough to start stressing about their entire future. That's the game we have all been playing, and a game that someone else made up. So, what does society tell us to do with these golden years? The accepted narrative is loud and clear. Just grind, stack your resume, pad that college application like your life depends on it. You're supposed to wake up early, nail your AP class, lead 3 clubs, volunteers on weekends, and have a side hustle. And if you're not doing all that, if you're just sitting on the couch, playing video games, or just hanging out, you are just wasting time. We've been told that your teenage years sound like a saving account. Every hour you spend relaxing is a dollar you're never getting back. Every nap is a missed opportunities. Every lazy Sunday is a step toward a mediocre future. And here's the scary part. Most people believe it. When one of the biggest thinker in tech asks people what they regret most about high school, almost all of them said the same thing, that they wasted too much time. So yeah, we are terrified of making the same mistake. We are terrified of waking up at 25 and saying, "Oh no, I should have been more stressed when I was 16." So we hustle, we burn out. We trade sleep for success because that's what we are supposed to do, right? Okay, now hold on. Because there's a twist here that nobody talks about. What if the grind isn't actually helping? What if the pressure to grow up too fast is actually making you less ready for the future? Let's look at the evidence. Teen anxiety and depression has skyrocketed in the last decades. And if you walk down a high school hallway today, you see students dressed like they are 20, obsessing over Instagram aesthetic and juggling more events than most adults. They're burning out before they even get to the starting line. The twist is this: maybe the biggest waste of time isn't playing video games. Maybe the biggest waste is pretending to be an adult before you are actually ready. Because here's the thing about real growth: it's messy, it's slow, it requires boredom, it requires making mistakes. It requires those awkward, cringy moments where you don't have it all figured out. If you skip that process, if you jump straight into being a mini CEO with a 5 years plan, you are not more mature, you are just exhausted. And you've missed the chance to actually figure out who you are. So maybe the real waste isn't rest, maybe the real waste is pretending. So, what's really going on here? Why are we so obsessed with optimizing our teenage years? It's come down to one word, which is fear. We're afraid of being average. We're afraid of being left behind. We see the highlight reels on TikTok of kids making millions of curing diseases, and we think, if they can do it, why can't I? But here's the secret sauce. Maturity can't be rushed. You can't fake emotional depth. You can't fast forward through the awkward years and land it wise and grounded. Resilience isn't built by grinding, it's built by failing, recovering, and trying again. And right now, a lot of us are skipping that part. We are so focused on the destination that we are ignoring the journey. There's actually a growing moment of young people rebelling against this. They call this abstinence, giving up social media to actually live in the real world. They're realizing that the constant comparison and pressures to perform isn't making them happy, they're just making them tired. We need to realize that the teenage years aren't an investment portfolio. They aren't a race, they are just years, like every other year of your life. And if you spend them constantly worried about doing enough, you're going to miss the point entirely. You're going to miss the late night talk with friends, the terrible movies you watched just to laugh, the days where you did absolutely nothing and it was perfect. Those aren't wasted moments. Those are the moments that actually matters. So here's the real talk. You cannot waste your teenage year, not in the way that you think. The only way you can waste them is to be so scared of wasting them that you never actually live in them. So please give yourself permission to breathe. Give yourself permission to be bored. Give yourself permission to be a little bit messy and a little bit lost. That's not failure, that's the point. Stop treating your youth like a product that you have to optimize. Start treating it like the weird, wonderful, confusing experiment that it actually is. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Don't let the fear of wasting time steal the time that you have right now. Just go be a teenager, make mistakes, laugh too loud, sleep in, or maybe just maybe ignore the voice telling you to grind. Because that voice, it doesn't know what it's talking about. So turn off the pressures, go outside, call a friend, do something that doesn't look good on a resume.